For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live.
Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to talk about Jupiter in 5th house. We are going to take two cases here. First, if Jupiter is well placed in the 5th house making good yogas, then what kind of good results it can fetch. And second, if it is not well placed, losing the strength or getting afflicted, then what kind of malefic results also it can fetch. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is shown in description. So we are going to talk about Jupiter in 5th. First situation, if Jupiter is well placed. By well placed, I mean that Jupiter is in own sign, exaltation sign, friendly sign, and the zodiac sign in which it is sitting. The lord of that sign is well placed in the chart. It is making good yogas. Second point, Lagna lord, sun and moon and 9th house and 9th lord must be suitably placed. So Lagna lord, sun and moon, they control the general strength of the chart. Irrespective of any planet what you are seeing, you need to see their placements. If they are not well placed, the entire strength of the chart goes down. Even though you have good planets placed in good signs, they can't give you expected results. Their potential is lost, and even their dashas are going on, you can't see any kind of results which you think. The reason is you need to see the condition of Lagna lord, sun and moon. For Jupiter, you also need to see the 9th house and 9th lord. So if they are well placed, supporting Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the 5th house making good yogas with benefic planets like Venus, Mercury, Moon, or the lords of Kendra houses or Trikona houses. And it is, as I mentioned, in Navamsha also it is well placed. So Jupiter in the 5th house can give very brilliant results. If the more it is strong, the better results, the more capacity to fetch lots of good results and traits in personality will be there for Jupiter. So first thing which we can see is Jupiter and 5th house are both what? Learning, education, knowledge. So it is an excellent situation for intelligence, learning. And if Mercury is also good, this will be a much beautiful situation. So it can give a good level of learning, means learning ability. So I'm not talking about the degrees. It is good for getting good degrees from good institutions also. But in general, I'm talking about the normal capacity to learn in a person. So it can show good levels of intelligence, learning ability, memory, sharpness, curiosity to know the things. And with time, it is also a good situation which gives wisdom to person, knowledge along with experience. Then, also, it's a situation which provides good communication. Means what you learned, you can express that also. Obviously, you need to check Mercury, but Jupiter is good for, because 5th house is authorship. So it can show what you learned, you can convey. So 5th house is teaching also. So it's excellent for communication part. What you know, you can express that to and you can inform other people, make other people aware. You can teach other also. So that is also 5th house Jupiter. Then 5th house and 9th house, Jupiter aspects the 9th by sitting in the 5th and the ascendant. So first, 5th and 9th house, they are very important for Bhagya. Bhagya means luck, fate, fortune. So Jupiter enhances that. And if 9th house is also well placed, it will be much, much more. So when I say luck, it's like protection from suffering. So like you are born into a well-to-do family, or you are born into a family which supports you, or you are having a life where you are having resources to fulfill your goals. You have privileges to move ahead in life. So that protects you from suffering in the world. Let's suppose a person who does not have that, a person who does not have parents, or a parent who can't support him or her, and who does not have resources. They have lack of money, they have lack of other resources to move forward. Obviously the struggle will be there, no matter how skillful or talented they are. So this is what luck and fate is. So if luck and fate is not only that you are very lucky, it's like it is a planetary situation which is protecting you from the suffering in the world. So Jupiter is an excellent planet for that. So it is a good situation which provides what? Levels of bhagya, luck or fortune to move ahead. So that is a good situation. Then it gives dharma in the nature. Dharma means not religion. Dharma means some qualities or attributes which we can see, and Jupiter represents them. So it can show Dharma means a person who has morals, ethics, principles, who follows law, and who respects their religion, tradition, culture, the values which the values or the history or the lineage from which they come. Huh? So it makes person civilized also. That is what good Jupiter in fifth house can show. It can show the element of compassion, kindness, humanity, helping nature towards other people. You can relate to the suffering of other people and try to help them. And one more thing which fifth house Jupiter can show, it gives ego due to knowledge. So I know certain things, I have my belief system, it gives a strong belief system. But sometimes it makes person quite self-righteous, sometimes judgmental and biased as well. But it's a drawback, we can't change that. But the point here is that Jupiter in fifth house can give such good traits in the person as well. Then it can show, fifth house is children, so Jupiter in the fifth house can show love for children, or it can be a good situation for having good children in life. Means not only the children who are healthy, but they are also later on becoming good human beings, and you can have good relations with them later. So that kind of thing. Then fifth house is education, so it is excellent for pursuing education in certain fields. Depending on the other yogas, of course, you need to see them, but it is a very suitable situation for medicine, healthcare, life science, law, political science, management, administration, teaching, education, language, literature, writing. And for BFSI means banking, financial institutions, insurance, economics, media, journalism. So these are really good fields for Jupiter in fifth house if it is responsible for education and career as well. Then fifth house is relationships. So if you need to see other yogas, of course, not only by Jupiter, you can't judge that, but you need to see other combinations for fifth house, ninth, seventh house, Tithi Lord, etc. Navamsha chart for seeing relationship and marriage. But if Jupiter is suitably placed in the fifth, and generally the yogas for marriage and relationships are fine, then it can show long, sustainable, meaningful relationships, not just simple, casual affairs, platonic relationships which have no meaning at all. So that is not Jupiter. Jupiter also shows a long-term committed, trustworthy relationship. That is all Jupiter and Saturn, but mainly Jupiter. So that can be seen. But you need to check other yogas. You can't just see with this one placement. I have just told you that if other yogas are fine, Jupiter plays a good role there. Then Jupiter in fifth, let's suppose if it is negatively placed, means it's not receiving support, like it's debilitated and the Neech Bhanga is not happening. Means the cancellation of debilitation is not there. And the ascendant lord, sun and moon and ninth house and ninth lord are not well placed. Jupiter is sitting in enemy signs. The lord of the zodiac sign in which it is sitting, that planet is not well placed. It is hemmed between malefics like in Papakartri. Then it is retrograde by being in malefic signs. If it is not strong and not well placed and then retrograde, it will be a negative situation. Then it is afflicted by 6th, 8th or 12th lords or Mars, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, which are obviously malefics in the chart. Not always, but depending on the chart. Then Jupiter will lose strength, and the more of these factors will be there, the more these things will be present, the more strength loss will be there in Jupiter, even though the fifth house is a good house for Jupiter. But the problem will be that it won't be having that much capacity to fetch good results. And now the more it will be malefic or other yogas are not good, then it will have full capacity to create troubles in life as well. So what we can see, it can create first of all troubles in hindrances in language and learning. So kids or people who have language or learning disabilities or difficulties, poor education, memory problems, concentration problems, attention span is very, very poor. Either the person does not have any interest or does not have any concentration at all. The academic performance suffers, education suffers. It can show gaps or incomplete education. Then it can create troubles in communication. Means because either you are not interested in any kind of learning or it is hampered, and it can create troubles in expressing your ideas because Jupiter and Mercury are your ideas. So that also becomes troublesome. Then it can create a scenario, mental pattern where a person tends to seek out shortcuts in life because Jupiter aspects the 11th house of gains. So if it is in negative relation with Rahu, it can create a scenario where it can bring a mentality to seek shortcuts in life rather than going for a ethical way to approach things and fulfill your desires. So that won't be there. Then it can also show bad habits and bad company, easily influenced by bad company in life, and you tend to become more what you can say, drawn towards desperate social approval by people and your peers. Then Jupiter can create bad habits, addictions, or any other kind of troubles which create what you can say, problems in your personality, that kind of thing, which weaken it. Then adharma increases. Adharma means corruption, wrong use of knowledge, immorality, unethical behavior, no sense of right and wrong, selfishness, ingratitude, blaming others for your own mistakes and living in self-denial, greed. Either the person rejects the religion or culture completely, or become an extremely rigid fundamentalist or a bigot or a hypocrite. Then it can also show a person who can be very, very much overly judgmental and prejudiced or biased. Then it can create troubles in relationships. Either relationships do not happen, or even if they happen, they don't survive at all. And the bhagya reduces. As I mentioned, the bhagya means the luck and the fortune, the protection from the suffering. It's not there anymore. So even if it is there, like some situations, the person, because Jupiter and Mercury are your decision making, so it's like person is deliberately doing certain actions which ultimately harm them. So let's suppose life presents you with good opportunities and you just ignore them, you just don't take them at all, you reject them completely, and later on you feel regret, deep regret, that had I taken that opportunity, I would have been something else in my life. So that is all weak Jupiter and weak Moon and Mercury, of course. But in fifth house, it can show that. Then it can also create, as I mentioned, struggles will be there, troubles will be there, and bhagya, the protection reduces, more exposed to suffering. You will have to work out on your own self, and it's not easy. Then fifth house is your children. Jupiter is childbirth, so it creates troubles in having children. Either the conceiving is the problem, or loss of children, miscarriage, abortion, any kind of thing can be seen. Harm to child can be seen, or the relationship with the child suffers. So depending on the chart. Then Jupiter is finances, money, and fifth house is Lakshmi Sthan. Trikona house is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is wealth, not just only of money, but in this case, it can create financial crises and losses. Fifth house is investments. It can show investments where person invested and they ultimately fetch losses later on. So that can also be seen. So these are the malefic aspects of Jupiter which can be presented in the fifth house if it is badly placed. And one more thing which I have seen is that Jupiter in fifth house, if it is really, really bad, then it makes person quite disrespectful, particularly towards tradition, religion, elderly teachings, elders themselves, teachers, mentors. Some or the other way later on, at some point in life, you tend to, initially you might have some repo or some good relations with them, but later on you tend to have a dispute, have clash of ideologies, and ultimately a sense of ingratitude tends to come, some or the other, which I have seen in most cases. So the thing here is that in this case, Jupiter, if it is bad, if it is good, not at all, this thing will not be seen. But if it is afflicted, then it can fetch this, because now it can create a false ego of knowledge that I am the best, my thinking is the best, my notion and perception to see the reality is supreme, and I know it all. I don't require any more improvement or more knowledge to accept. That kind of mentality is gone. So that can be seen, and that is why it creates troubles with such people, mentors, teachers, gurus, elders, all those things, father, so, or children maybe. So that is another point. So these are certain results of Jupiter in fifth. I hope you would have understood everything, but again, you have to see other combinations, then analyze the chart in totality. Don't just jump to conclusions that my Jupiter is debilitated, my life is destroyed. Not like that. Or my Jupiter is exalted, it is excellent, I am going to enjoy everything. No, You just, everything is dynamic. You have to see how other planets are playing their role, how they are influencing Jupiter, how the other planets like particularly Lagna, Lord, Sun and Moon are placed. Then you analyze that, okay, this kind of behavior it can exhibit. So that is how you have to see. But in general, I have shared my views and general information, what I have seen so far, expressing in various people's lives. So that's all. I hope you gained some insight through this information about Jupiter in fifth. So that's all for today. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below for more. Check on my website, Facebook page, Instagram. Their links are shown in description. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.